Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to come to New York. It's a pleasure. I call my lecture Dutch Mountains. It's this book, released last Sunday, brand new. I brought one for the Chuncheon, the library. This is the Netherlands. I come from the Netherlands. And the whole of the Netherlands is below sea level, 70%. But I was born here in the south, where you have the soft hills. And the highest hill is here, 300 meters high, and we share it with Belgium and Germany. Now we live here in Rotterdam. This is Rotterdam. You see this very flat landscape. I call the buildings the Dutch mountains. As you can see from the work of Mecanoo, we make many different projects because we don't grant a certain style or a certain form. It's more about an attitude. So in the year 2000, with the book Contrast, Composition, Complexity, I defined 10 statements of what is really important in architecture. And all people of Mecanoo, we are about 100 people, have to know these 10 statements as an attitude. And I think the last 3 years, I focused very much on law of nature, the collective responsibility for sustainability, and analysis and intuition. Of course, all 10 are important phases in my work. These are the Mecanoos. What is quite special for the office that we are very interdisciplinary. Yeah, maybe not especially in New York, but international. We have about 11 people. Architecture, urbanism, landscape, interior, restoration, it's all in one office. This is the office, very old building, Canal in Delft. This is the interior, very special. It's 40 meters long corridor. This is the atmosphere in the office. It's all, also pictures from the office are in the book Dutch Mountains. What I also wanted to express to you, because maybe that makes women maybe different from, I don't know, male architects, I have no idea. But what was for me always very important, that architecture must appeal to all the senses. In architecture, but also especially in urbanism. And in 2006, I made a house of cards for children. It was inspired by the House of Cards of Charles Radius. And people develop their senses when they're very young, around the age of 5 years old. So that's what I think is so important to design for children, especially for the senses, because that's something you take with you until you're 80, 90 years old. Sustainability issue is now politically correct, and we have been doing this already for many, many years, and we have many prize-winning projects. Today, my idea is to tell you about 7 projects. Montevideo, a high-rise housing in Rotterdam, an innovation center in Nijmegen for Phillips, a library in Delft, a theatre and conference center in Lleida, again a library and a theatre in Birmingham, performing arts center in Kaohsiung, and the last one, a golf clubhouse, very luxury in Korea. Of course, I put in pictures also of the book Dutch Mountains. Because we try to make a book what is not an architecture book. It's more about people using the buildings and making the buildings and my philosophy. So it's not photographed by an architecture photograph. It's more like a story, like go with me all over the world. So Montevideo, what I call the Mount Everest of the Dutch mountains. I feel very shy. It's just 155 5 meters high, but for housing that's still quite high. It's inspired by the harbor city of Rotterdam, and it's on a very special point on the pier where there used to be the Holland-America line, the ocean liners. So what I wanted to do to get inspiration from New York to Rotterdam. And the idea was also just being in that building that we made some windows like circular windows like you're on an ocean liner looking out of your window. And what was for Holland very special to make a very luxury building, what is maybe very normal here, with special, but also with your own balconies and a swimming pool, and very well detailed, high quality building, with a lot of attention on the entrances. The material that really reflects the beautiful light in the harbor is the Dutch skies and the water. And on top of it, the M of Montevideo, M of Mecanoo. My children were small when I was designing, so they said M for mama. And I even said M for me. And now it's in the skyline of the city of Rotterdam. 52°. It's a building for Phillips Innovation and Business Centre. This is Phillips factory for semiconductors. Very gated community, very top secret. And they wanted to make on this plot where there was a lot of traffic, to make a building for innovation. And innovation is when you don't work in a gated community. They believe, and I also believe, that you become innovative if you work with other disciplines, but even with your competitors. So their idea was to make outside this gated community a building that invites everybody to come in to be innovative. Next to it, I saw that all of Holland is flat. It's not true, because this park has very small hills of maybe 6-7 meters high from, we call it the ice time, because there was a lot of ice in Holland millions of years ago. And there was it's a park here. And what we did, this park with hills of 6-7 meters high, we took it over the street and connected to the Phillips block. You can see it like this. Floor plan, to be innovative, it was also a philosophy to work with 60 people, and then you can change the floor plans many, many times, even in 1, 2, 3 months. To go into the soil, this parking is very expensive in Holland because of all the water. And the idea was to make a facade that doesn't look like an office building with only horizontal lines. Very important for us was that the building makes a movement like coming. It's like making a nick. The facade research we did. It was a totally air conditioned building. It's not so much an office building, it's more a laboratory for electronic laboratory. And we said we want people to give the opportunity to open a window to get also some fresh air in, although it was for the installation of that, which was maybe like a kind of pixels. And you can open up here behind freeze like windows. Here, now you see open floor. Outside the building is totally black, inside it's totally white. Here you can see how we built that mountain. You can also learn about the weather in Holland and the changing of the seasons and the beautiful skies. This was built in a very quickly for Dutch terms, and here you see how we built. Oh, I'm sorry, I remember this. my fault.
Yeah.
But here you see how they start to build a hill. Put earth on top of it. And how beautiful it becomes when they put the grass on top of it. And how also by just making this nib makes the building very colorful because you have different ways of reflecting the light beneath the grass. So it's a very black building, it's a very colorful building. Oh.
I don't, this never happened before. Okay.
Black and white, very colorful. Eco-engineering.